Hey guys, this is Elation Podfic, and today we're going to be reading Glowsticks and Bullet Holes by Hyperius. This is Chapter 14. A knock on the window startled both Hal and Jason, who were deep in the drama of Star Wars. Hal looked over the edge of the couch, a bright smile crossing his face. Perfect! He jumped over the back of the couch, running to the window, pulling it open. Come on in. Come in? Jason paused the movie, turning in his seat to stare at the other Green Lantern coming in through the window. Who's that? This is Guy Gardner. Hal motioned to the other man who smirked and waved. Guy let his green uniform shimmer and fade, leaving him standing in his leather vest and ripped jeans. Sup? Hi? Jason looked between Hal and Guy for a long moment before he remembered. Guy was the dude Hal called to talk some sense into him, to supposedly help him better than Hal could. Frankly, Jason suspected a lot of different people for Hal to call, but, Guy Gardner was not one of them. Guy huffed, apparently telling what he was thinking by the skeptical look on his face. Believe it or not, I am a social worker. He walked around the couch, collapsing next to Jason and crossing his legs. I'm actually qualified for this. You're shitting me. Nope. Guy grinned. I know. I don't look the type. You really don't. Jason smiled a bit. That's actually good, though. Guy seems to get anger, get aggression and pain in him. Guy would probably get him. This certainly makes Jason feel a bit more comfortable talking to him. Hal walked back around after shutting the window, perching on the arm of the couch beside Jason. Ready to bang this out? Jason took a deep breath, nerves beginning to bubble from deep within him, because so soon? Already? This starts getting real, fast. They're actually gonna have to talk about emotions. His emotions. Him. Shit. We're gonna have to do this. Already, Guy watched as Jason began to close off. The boy brought his legs up on the couch, arms crossing as he tried to make himself seem smaller. Jason certainly doesn't want to talk about this. That much is clear. Guy knows he's also stubborn as hell and strong-willed. You gotta be to be a vigilante. So most likely being delicate about all this won't be efficient. He's gonna have to be mean. So you're having trouble with Bruce? No. Hal scoffed. Yes. He gave Jason a look, and the boy pulled his arms tighter around him. Okay, yes. Jason shrugged. It's not a big deal. Hal frowned. It is a big deal. And, okay, yeah. Guy's seen this before. Self-esteem issues, manipulation, and an unhealthy dose of not wanting to accept what's real because it hurts too much to do so. Okay, Jason, I'm gonna ask you some questions. Guy watched Jason frown, jaw setting as he mentally prepared himself. Is it just Bruce, or all the bats? Bruce and the rest of them, a bit. Do you love them? And what does he say? He does, deep down. He knows he does. Bruce was his father and Dick his brother. He and Tim have started getting along better, and he's even begun to bond with Damien a bit, but still, it's hard to say it. Guy nods, understanding his silence. Do they love you? Jason jerked, eyes wide and glaring. Yes, they love me. Really? Yes? You don't sound so sure. And they're really talking about him, because he is the cause for Jason's pain. Not Dick, not Tim, Damien, or even Alfred. They're talking about Bruce. Jason was silent for a moment, clearly trapped within the abyss of his own thoughts. Guy was patient, making sure not to pressure Jason, as he slowly begins to understand his thoughts. The next time Jason spoke, his voice was softer, weak, as if he was afraid to really acknowledge his truths. Here's the thing. I know they love me. I do. I know it. I don't feel it. I don't know why. I know he loves me. Why can't I believe it? He was desperate, truly and completely desperate for the answer to his turmoil. He wants to know why there's this dissonance that he's never allowed himself to acknowledge prior. He just wants to stop hurting. Unfortunately, Guy already knows Jason won't like the answer to his question. Here's the thing, kid. An abuse. He let out enough breath, thinking how to reword this, because the truth is gonna hurt like a bitch. Abuse hurts. is what they do, abusers. They hurt people. Some abusers make their victims believe they are loved, even when they know they aren't. The belief that they are loved is so strong that the victims ignore what they know. It's how the victim remains trapped. They're convinced that one day what they realize and accept that they are loved, and the other reason why they can't acknowledge that this love is real, despite feeling it, is because they're crazy, right? They feel the unending conditional love. So something is wrong with them, and that's why they can't acknowledge it. At least, that is what their abusers say. It's rough opening their eyes to the truth. When Guy deals with these types of abuse victims, he has to put it all in perspective. Ask if a victim would allow a friend to be in a relationship with their abuser. Many times the victim would say no, and that's the start to their healing. Next comes the hard job of convincing them that they aren't crazy, and they're worth so much more than how the abuser treats them. They deserve love and compassion, and someone who will treat them with kindness. But Jason's case is the opposite. It's the knowledge that he is loved without feeling it. And this is what makes his desire to somehow feel the love and acceptance so strong. Knowing he is loved gives him the hope that he actually is. And this allows his mind to debase him, allows Bruce to manipulate him into obeying and to accepting his treatment. And never running away, because if he just does the one right thing, then maybe he'll actually feel the love that he knows he has. It makes Guy hate Bruce all the more, to know he's manipulating his children so, abusing them so, hurting them so. Does he not realize the more Jason is rejected and feeling the love, the more he'll feel he'll never be worthy of it? That if the people he knows love him treat him so horribly, then how could he expect anyone else to treat him better, to treat him right? They're priming him to be abused for the rest of his life, and Guy is gonna fucking beat Bruce, take him into space and hurl him into his sun. Jason, you need to accept Bruce doesn't love you. Ouch. That was a bit more blunt than he wanted, but he thinks he does, but he doesn't. When someone loves you and loves you right, you'll both know it and believe it. Any other type of love is toxic. And when it's weaponized against you, it's abuse. That is what Bruce is doing. He's abusing you, Jason. Jason shook his head, burying his face into his knees. No, he's not. He treats me well. No, he doesn't, Hal huffed, scowl on his face and blazing. He hurts you. He fucking abandoned you. But he doesn't hit me. Not usually. Usually? So he has hit you. Oh, there will be bloodshed. Guy leaned forward, setting a hand on Jason's knee. First, just because it's not physical abuse doesn't mean it's not abuse. Emotional abuse is very real and very painful, as is verbal. Second, he hit you? Jason looked up, eyes beginning to glitter as tears pressed against the back of his eyes, slipping free and dripping down his cheek. Not too badly. Hal rested a hand on Jason's shoulder, voice soft and concerned. Jason, what does he do? The boy shook his head. Please tell us. No. Jason's voice came up to grab at the crude scar that has mangled his neck. No. But that singular motion was enough for them to realize that horrific truth. That Bruce has slit Jason's throat. Bruce slit his son's throat. If it wasn't for the way Jason let silent tears fall, they'd be hunting Bruce down to brutally murder him. But Jason needs them right now. So Hal slipped off the arm of the couch to properly sit beside Jason, pulling the boy into a tight hug, arms wrapped around him and holding him close. One hand came up to gently brush his fingers through Jason's hair, comforting him best he could. Shh, it's okay, Jason. I'm here. He made eye contact with Guy briefly before refocusing his attention on the boy. I'm never gonna let you get hurt. Not from Luther, not from Siones, and certainly not Bruce. Guy shook his head. Yeah, no more therapy for tonight. He probably went in too strong, too aggressively, and though he knew the delicate way of confronting him wouldn't have worked, he probably shouldn't have bulldozed it either. He just didn't realize Jason, the Red Hood, felt so strongly. It's kind of cute. It's even cuter when Hal begins to comfort Jason, and seeing how familiar they are with each other makes Guy start thinking, holy shit. Guy grinned, eyes sparkling as the realization came to him. Hal is totally dadding Jason. Who would have figured that Hal is a dad type? Ooh, maybe he likes the daddy king too. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Guy got up, walking to the kitchen, and began to fix some tea. Tea always helps calm the nerve, after all. Once the drink was fixed, he stepped back to the couch, handing the warm glass to Jason, who, thankfully, has already begun to calm. How are you feeling? Jason shrugged. Shitty. He looked down at his drink. You weren't wrong. He always kind of knew it, but hearing it, gods, that makes it so much more real. It forces him to acknowledge it. Bruce is the only family I've ever had. I don't want to be alone. You aren't. Guy pointed at Hal. Not anymore, at least. Hal grinned down at Jason, ruffling his hair. Yeah, I'm your daddy now. Please, no. But Hal knew he did his job when Jason cracked a little amused smile, the depression and pain slowly fading from his expression. But what about when the mission ends? I have to go back. Or not. Hal looked a little bit hopeful and a little nervous. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can stay. Don't say that. Jason looked down, fist tightening around his cup. Don't say that if you don't mean it. Lucky for you, then. I do mean it. Jason's head whipped up, staring at Hal in both awe and disbelief before grinning softly, relaxing into Hal's hold and closing his eyes. Jason can't promise that he will stay after all. His whole life is in Gotham. But knowing it's an option, a real option, it seems to make all the difference. So, Daddy, how are you feeling? Guy was grinning a bit mischievously, a teasing tilt in his voice as he spoke with Hal. Jason was asleep, the conversation exhausting him. Hal put him in the real bed, as he deserved it. Tonight, Hal will be sharing the living room with Guy. Guy called dibs on the couch, but Hal was prepared to fight him on that privilege. Hal kicked Guy's shin. Don't call me that. You didn't answer the question. Hal huffed, shaking his head. Better. You were a little cruel, but I think it's what he needed to hear. Yeah, I probably could have been nicer about it all. Guy kicked back, head resting against the couch. I always knew Bruce was a shit stain on this earth. I just never knew that he was abusive. I'm gonna punch him. Only if I don't kill him first. Guy smirked at Hal, winking before he turned away. I want to get to know Jason better. Yeah? Yeah. If he feels more comfortable with me, I think he'd be willing to open up more. Maybe even without breaking down. And Jason deserved it. He deserved to have someone he can speak to, someone he can talk openly to without fear of judgment. Also, if Guy gets Jason to connect with him, he may help convince Jason to run away with the Green Lanterns and never return to the Bats. Since that is the goal, keep Jason away from Gotham, away from Bruce, and then save the other kids in Bruce's hold. One at a time, though, and he has a sinking feeling Jason, the black sheep Todd, gets it the worst out of everyone. Should we tell the League about everything? Guy shook his head. Not yet. We don't have enough proof, and we're both known for getting in fights with Batman, so they'll probably doubt us. Yes, Batman, one of the big three, the founder of the Justice League, he can do no wrong. No, they need proof. Okay. Hal pulled out his phone. I'm gonna call for some backup. Getting proof? Mm-hmm. Guy quirked a brow. From who? Hal's smile widened. Barry. He does the whole police thing. Maybe he can pull some strings in Gotham so we can get video or something. Maybe. Guy huffed, shook his head. He's not sure how well that would work, but if they can get Barry on their side, that'll be good. Hell, anyone on their side would be good. Now get off my couch. Alright guys, and that is the end of chapter 14 of Glowsticks and Bullet Holes. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you next chapter.